Everyone, it is 9 a.m. on this Friday. Thanks for clicking on WGRZ app for our streaming newscast, Daybreak Plus. Breaking developments in the tariff tug-of-war. Relations between the U.S. and one of its biggest trading partners are deteriorating. China has raised its tariff on U.S. imports from 84% up to 125%. That happened while you were sleeping overnight. It comes after the White House confirms the U.S. tariff rate on Chinese goods is now up to 145%, up from 125%. A statement from China overnight said if the U.S. continues to impose tariffs on Chinese goods exported to the U.S., China will ignore it. So a quick look at stock futures on Wall Street right now, 30 minutes before trading gets underway. At this moment, they are rising as traders assess the latest tariff-related developments. Meanwhile, European stocks soared 4.9%. For the Asian markets, Japan stocks have jumped as well, but it's a little bit of back and forth. As it says there at CNBC, Japan stocks jumped over 9% as Asian markets track Wall Street gains after Trump pauses the tariffs. But you can see the Nikkei index is down almost 3% there. Now, NBC News says leaders with the European Union are planning to travel to Beijing within the next few months to try to find common ground. And some Western New York companies are hoping to see the benefits from President Trump's tariffs, like returning skilled manufacturing stateside. Blue Forge Alliance is hoping to spark more defense production. That company, along with the primary General Dynamics electric boats contractor for Navy submarine construction, will be coming to Western New York next month to speak and recruit local companies as subcontractors.
They want to introduce the electric boat and a few of their tier 1, tier 2 type suppliers to, number one, their existing supply chain here in Western New York, which is 89 strong, 89 companies strong. But in addition to that, they want to meet potential new suppliers.
That was the executive director of the Buffalo Niagara Manufacturing Alliance, and he adds that the companies coming to Western New York are looking for machine shops and looking for welders. And this global trade war is something that we will continue to follow all throughout the day, and of course, tracking the stock market as well and how it'll affect your dollars. For the latest updates, you can download our free news app. Okay, switching to something else that's making everyone super happy right now. The weather. Yeah, it is a little gloomy out there, misty, a little light rain as temperatures are hovering in the mid-30s. Patrick, what is going on?
Yeah, it's just this kind of April blah. That's wasn't really apparent in March, but it is in April. Sometimes Marches and Aprils can act very differently and not always in the same order, right? March was a lot warmer and brighter. This April has been kind of grim. Today, still some sprinkles or a light rain shower. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy. Sunday, perhaps partly sunny, but still a lot of clouds to contend with. At least it'll be dry for the weekend, okay? Numbers are in the mid-30s. We're going to manage the low 40s today with lots of clouds. The rain that we had this morning is subsiding, and it looks like, you know what I'm going to do? See the radar with the flurries over Buffalo? Okay, it's just, hey, Melissa, it's just sprinkles.
Thanks, honey.
Yes, home at 6. All right, so here's the deal. Sometimes you got to go out and look, all right? So this is showing up as just some drizzle. Temperatures are marginal enough that the radar may see it as snow. It's not. It's just some sprinkles out there. Yeah, could there be a little random snowflake? Possibly, but again, this is light rain that is coming to an end. Cloudy skies today with temperatures close to 40. I said coming to an end. All day we're going to see sprinkles or drizzle, okay? There we go, cloudy skies today with temperatures into the low 40s. Any rain as well east of us into the Finger Lakes. Tonight, cloudy. Tomorrow, mostly cloudy again. Maybe a sprinkle, okay, a drizzle. But, you know, most of the day should be dry. And then on Sunday is when we see lots of clouds in the morning, but there's some hope that we get some partial clearing in the afternoon as temperatures climb into the 50s. And then we bring in some milder temperatures to start next week. More on that coming up. So low 40s today, clouds, sprinkles, or some drizzle. Upper 40s tomorrow under mostly cloudy skies, light wind. Not a lot of wind to scour these clouds out. For today, cloudy and damp. There has been some fog out there with the light wind. Tonight, down to 36, cloudy. Long range forecast, dry on Sunday. Monday, we're up into the mid 60s, rain showers late in the day, and that will lead to a push of cooler air with numbers falling into the 40s. It looks like Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So a bulk of next week is going to be on the cool side. Also, we can't rule out Tuesday night. Some of that rain changing to a little bit of snow, especially in the southern tier, and that continues into Wednesday. So yeah, next week is going to be on the cool side after Monday's brief period of mild air. And then the following week.
I went outside, by the way, to check the forecast.
You know, sometimes we do verify here,
yes.
right? And there's been times when what you're saying doesn't match reality,
right.
and the best way to do. That's why I've advocated with management to put a window in the weather office. But it's like thick,
We
thick
are
concrete
in the
walls.
studio here, and your weather office is here in the studio where we can't have windows because the lights matter. And if we're changing from daylight to nighttime, it will affect the way it looks here in the studio.
But the Today Show can do it. They got windows.
That's true.
Anyway, there's just this is not built for windows. But I've got a source.
You do have a door.
There's a little door. I can go check.
Right. And when it's 36 degrees, sometimes it could be snowing. It just depends.
Was it yesterday? It was snowing at 39. So it can happen.
Okay. All right. We'll talk more about the spring break forecast. And you were also comparing spring break last year to this year, which is hard to do because one was in the very beginning of April.
Isn't that weird? Yeah. Easter this year is April, 20th? Or
yeah,
something?
It's
And last year it
April
was March 31st.
Right. And you and I were going back and forth. When was Easter break last year? Was it the week before Easter or the week after?
I think it was the week after.
And it was the week after. And I was wrong. I thought it was always the week before, but it was the week after. And because it was early, and then they had spring break, and then it led right into the eclipse on April 8th.
And I don't know if it's historically the case. Like this year, spring break is next week. At least my kids are also off the following Monday.
Okay.
And last year, they were off Monday, and we thought, was it because of the eclipse? But I think that maybe, is it always a Monday off after spring break?
Sometimes some districts do that and others don't. Okay. But it's always Dingus Day.
Dingus Day.
Bring the kids to Polonia to party.
There you go.
Okay, let's talk about the UB women's basketball team going through some changes. It's a little bittersweet. They're celebrating their WNIT championship title, but now we're learning star player Jalea Watson is declaring for this year's WNBA draft. So she's not coming back to UB. She made the announcement on Instagram. She averaged 20 points per game this season. She was a powerhouse. She was named an All-MAC selection this year and an honorable mention as an All-American last year. So that's not too surprising. She's ready for the draft. Caitlin Clark has really inspired a lot of women too, and there's so much more attention now with the WNBA. So we wish Jalea Watson the best of luck, but as well, we lost coach Becky Burke. She's going to Arizona. She was a great coach for the UB women's Bulls, and now she's heading to Arizona to coach, and we wish her the best of luck. But some big changes coming to UB women's hoops. Now, some changes also for the Sabres because their hot streak's over now. The Sabres' 5-game win streak came to a screeching halt last night against the Columbus Blue Jackets. The team's on their final road trip of the season. J.J. Peterka and Rasmus Dahlin both scored in the first period, but that's when the scoring ended for the Sabres. And then the Blue Jackets had 2 goals in the third period, and so they ended up winning the game 3-2. Sabres are back at home tonight against, where are they playing? No, because tomorrow the Bandits are home. No, maybe not. I don't know. I don't know where any team is playing, but the Sabres are going to try to get back in the win column tomorrow night against the Panthers. The puck drops at 6 o'clock. Oh, I'm ringing. Sorry about that.
Maybe it's an answer to where
maybe somebody knows where the Sabres are playing.
Just call her.
Right. But Lindy Ruff's still going for that 900th win.
Yeah.
That would be amazing. He would only be the 5th coach in NHL history to ever do
we have any
it.
home games left, or are they all on the road? Do we know? with 4 games left.
Oh, they're in. Okay, thank you, Milton. Milton's our producer here, and he's saying that they're in Florida for the next game. And this is a road trip, but I don't think that they're coming home. What about the Bandits? They have a game tomorrow. We're just figuring out.
This is called show prep.
Okay, you know what? We have a really quick break now. I'm going to find out where the Bandits are playing tomorrow, and we'll be back with all of those answers right after this break. Okay, welcome back. A beloved Buffalo institution is celebrating a big milestone. I'm still looking for answers, by the way, so we're going to stretch a little bit. Let's talk about the Buffalo Zoo. It's ringing in its 150th anniversary with some Easter festivities, and Kevin O'Neill was at the zoo this morning to talk about some of the events and to show us some of the animals and other things that you can do during spring break with the kids. Take a look.
We have some fuzzy and some ferocious animals to show you here at the Buffalo Zoo as they celebrate 150 years and look forward to a fun week of holiday or Easter programming here with John, educational program specialist. How you doing?
I'm doing great, doing great.
What is your job here, first of all, the ambassador program? What is that?
As an educator program specialist, I'm out there educating the public and working on programs to make sure that we can do that. And our ambassador animals are my co-workers. They help me teach and they help me make programs for everyone.
This guy's got a busy week ahead.
Absolutely, he does. He goes out on Zoomobile, but he also deals with some of our summer camp and all of our programs like Little Explorers that we have here at the zoo.
Mm-hmm. Who is this?
This is Sir Hopsalot, or Hopper. He is a 1-year-old Californian rabbit. He's a bit heavy at 8 pounds.
Yeah, seriously.
But he's a big guy. Great. He's healthy.
Bulking up with veggies. Thanks, I appreciate it. Christian, nice to see you again. How you doing?
How's it going?
First of all, it's a big year for you guys.
Yep, so it's our 150th anniversary this year, so we're incredibly excited to be here, and we hope to be here for another 150 years.
Easter programming.
Yep, so this weekend we have our Bunny Treat Trail. It starts in the morning on Saturday and Sunday. There's treat stations, so you can get some Easter candy. You can come meet Sir Hopsalot and the Easter Bunny. So it's a great family event.
Some new additions too. How they doing?
Yep, so we have some new big cats that arrived here at the zoo recently. Sangari, our male tiger, and Mila, our snow leopard. They're doing great. They're definitely a welcome attraction here at the zoo. We're super excited to have them.
Is the snow leopard out yet?
Yep, she's out. She's a lot shy. Sangari's very vocal. You can see him.
And
you can hear him. Mila's a little more shy, but she's still. If you get a chance to see her, she's a beautiful cat.
For the Easter programming, should you show up at the gate, or should you register online? Or?
So tickets are available at buffalozoo.org. We encourage everybody to get their tickets ahead of time. You can come in the morning and get some if they are available. So.
Sure. Excellent. Well, that's a happy Easter in advance.
Yeah.
Happy Easter to you as well. For more information, buffalozoo.org. 150 years at this location in the Queen City. On your side in Buffalo, I'm Kevin O'Neill, Channel 2 News.
All right, good stuff there at the zoo. Although that the red eyes with that Sir Hopsalot, that rabbit, that was a little scary. Those red beady eyes.
Yeah, well, in my opinion, rabbits are fluffy, nice little creatures, but sometimes the larger versions that you take Easter pictures with don't always look so cuddly, right? Aren't Easter bunnies kind of scary?
Some of them are.
Right.
And dingy and dirty.
Right. And there's a famous book called Watership Down, which is a book about, it's a really deep book, but the characters are rabbits. And there's the good rabbits and then there's the bad rabbits. And the bad rabbits in the illustrations are very evil looking. I'll never forget it as a kid. It's not like a cartoony book. It's a book about. It doesn't
sound that way at all.
Yeah, like Animal Farm. It's a deep book, but yeah, Watership Down is the name of it. Anyway,
a nice light read.
Yeah, not for the kids really.
No.
Well, I read it as a. Anyway, moving on.
Moving on. Let's talk sports real quick because I finally figured out the schedule for all of our teams. Bandits are playing Halifax here at home on Saturday. Then they go into the playoffs. We don't know who they're playing yet and when, but the tickets are on sale, by the way, for the Bandits game, and it is going to be a home playoff game for the quarterfinals. Sabres, 4 games left. Next 2 are on the road at Panthers tomorrow, and then at the Lightning on Sunday, and then they end the season here at home with the Maple Leafs coming on Tuesday. and then the Flyers coming on Thursday.
It would be nice. I mean, hopefully Lindy gets the 900th win before then, but it would be nice to have it happen at home, or even the, that would be just.
So now that we figured all of that out, you do the weather. And
Okay.
we were asking you to send us questions that you have for us for Q&A day on Friday. We'll be doing that shortly too.
Cool. All right, so here's a look at rain chances over the next 7 days. Of course, today we have some of that light rain. Notice Saturday, Sunday, pretty dry. Sunday night, there's a chance of a few late showers. And then also Monday night or later Monday evening, Monday night, leading to a rain chance on Tuesday. Tuesday night, the chance is small, but I have a snowflake in here because that could be some snow showers. And then later on Thursday into Friday, another system that could lead to some showers and perhaps an unsettled and coolish Easter Sunday. Next stands to reason, figures, right, this season. And then after that, we begin to warm up, we think, looking at the long-range charts. Cloudy and cool with a few showers today. Mainly dry this weekend with lots of clouds. Briefly warmer to start spring break, meaning Monday with mid-60s, and then it gets cooler again, as I mentioned. We're in the 30s now. Let's take a look at that long-range forecast. And as again, a couple of showers maybe tomorrow morning for the southern tier. Dry on Sunday. I think there will be some peaks of sun in the afternoon. Monday, late in the day, Monday night, some showers. We go from the mid-60s Monday, and then a big drop-off Tuesday by some 20 degrees. Tuesday night, notice Tuesday and Wednesday, we have rain and snow for the southern tier. And then next week, 40s to end the week with a chance of rain showers again, Melissa, on Thursday into Friday. And you were talking to your son, and he said, I looked at my phone app, and the following weekend it showed snow.
He's got his first golf tournament of the season.
Well, phone apps at long range, because you got to look at a bunch of data. But it does get...
For Easter weekend.
Easter weekend,
it does. It's a Saturday before Easter.
It does get chilly again next weekend.
Right, for the 19th.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay.
This season, this April, after a really warm March and a lot of a couple of 70-degree days and no snow, now we're dealing with this chilly March.
We probably have a really nice May.
May would be nice.
That would be nice.
It would be good.
Okay.
Yes.
We are also getting a look this morning. This is really cute. A lot cuter than the bunny, actually. The town of Tonawanda's police department's newest police recruit has 4 legs and looks really sleepy. This is Lucy. She's an English bulldog, and she was donated to the police department by the organization Hope Rises. So Lucy's going to go through some training now with Western New York Heroes, which is a great organization. And he'll also do training with Loose Leash Dog Training to become the department's new therapy dog, giving a boost to officers who deal with stressful situations. And just having the dog around the police department, making people happy. I think that sounds very nice.
It does. Therapy dogs can go a long way. I mean, they can really... I know a lot of offices bring sometimes therapy dogs, doctors' offices bring in therapy dogs, hospitals.
Right, they can brighten spirits and have like that mental health effect, because who doesn't want to just pet a dog, and it relaxes you. At the airport, they've got the Paws for Love program with the Erie County SPCA. But it's amazing the dogs that can also be trained to smell scents of people who might be epileptic or have other disorders, and the dogs can sense that that's coming. It's incredible what dogs can do.
What service dogs can do and sniff out ailments, cancer. Of course, they've got all the, it's amazing how the dogs can be trained. And there are professionals that do that. In fact, just a shout out to, there's a gentleman in Olean who's a professional in training service dogs and also law enforcement dogs too. Steve Phillips.
Nice.
So anyway, there's great resources for that here locally.
And people love their dogs here in Western New York, apparently also, because Western New York ranks really high when it comes to pet lovers and how much they spend.
This is crazy. I saw this.
You shared
I heard this story this morning, and I was like, huh?
It was a study by MasterCard, and they kind of ranked the cities with the biggest pet lovers and how much they spend.
Across the country.
Across the country.
And number 1 was?
Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
But take a look at the rest of this list. You've got Hamburg at number 2 and Depew at number 5. And then Buffalo is ranked 14th in the top 30 pet-loving cities in the U.S. That is crazy. that Hamburg is number 2. Patrick, who lives in Hamburg and has about 9 dogs himself.
We have 3 dogs, and I mean, our community is loaded with dogs. We see people. I mean, that's just
So then, as for how it came up,
country.
Right. So MasterCard came to the decision by using metrics to identify the zip codes with the biggest concentrations of pet owners, and then the index blended MasterCard's data, which included pet spending per household, pet spending as a share of the total spending, and the percentage of cards in a zip code that had at least one pet-related transaction. So it was very calculated.
The pets do, especially when you go to the vet.
You think you're just going for one like wellness visit and end up costing about $400.
We have like an insurance, like a coverage plan to cover, because when they get their comprehensive, if they need dental work, I mean, it gets expensive.
And this MasterCard study also talked about how much pet ownership has risen since COVID. So many people were home, and there were so many more pet owners after COVID. So, but pet spending has also skyrocketed as well in the last few years. Time for our Q&A. We ended up getting a ton of questions.
We did.
What happens is at like 7 o'clock after the show is over, we'll go on and put on social media that it's Q&A day for the stream. So you can write in your questions that you have for us. And so let's fly through these because we only have 3 minutes left in the stream and there's like a gazillion questions. So Heritage Hills Farm wants to know, what's your favorite fish fry spot in Buffalo? Glen Park Tavern's at the top, but I just had one from Adolph's down in the Old First Ward.
Oh my gosh,
and
that's great.
Adolph's may have jumped to my number 1.
Really? Okay.
Okay, so I'll do that one because you've got a lot of weather. You've got a lot of music questions coming up. But Elizabeth wants to know spring break plans. We are both off next week.
Yes.
Home with the families, home with the kids.
Yes.
Elliot and I are going to be doing one of those like staycation. But we're going up to Niagara Falls, Ontario, and we're doing one of the indoor water parks attached to the hotel. So we're going to do. Nice. It'll feel like we're in a hotel, but also feel like we're inside somewhere warm with the water park.
That's a good spot. Water parks are fun.
Anything fun for you?
We tend to make plans about an hour before we do them.
Okay, so tune in to next week when Patrick comes back to find out what he did for spring break.
Because it's trips are planned, canceled, changed.
Michael Winter wants to know, if Buffalo could only win a Super Bowl or a Stanley Cup, which would you want? Super Bowl.
A Super Bowl.
Yep. Okay, Tom Slocum wants to know, does Patrick love Genesis?
I do. In fact, get this. I am going to see at Kleinhand's Steve Hackett, who is a former member of Genesis, back in the early years. He's coming to play here at Kleinhand's. It's called Genesis Revisited, and he redoes a lot of the classic Genesis. And then there's, of course, the tribute band Musical Box, which plays at the Riviera. They play old Genesis. I am a huge Genesis fan, both as Phil Collins as just the drummer. Also the second generation, which was him as the lead singer. Trick of the Tail is my favorite album.
I've learned so much about Genesis from you.
In that era, prog rock was it was the jam.
We've got more music questions for you. We've got 1 minute left. Chris Sacco wants to know, Patrick, how many Grateful Dead concerts have you been to?
Not as many as I would like. Most of them were in California at Frost Amphitheater in Palo Alto, and then it's called Day on the Green, which was at Oakland Coliseum. I've seen them probably 7 or 8 times. Okay. But that's tiny compared to what
7 or 8. Only 7 or 8.
Well,
Robert wants to know, what's your favorite yacht rock song?
I Keep Forgetting by Michael McDonald.
Okay. And then finally, Edward on Twitter wanted to know what happened to our other traffic guy, Dave. And so for those of you who missed it on social, Dave posted on your birthday on March 17th that he's been in radio for 47 years this year and the last 27 with NFTA's traffic and advertising. He's making plans for retirement. So he's handing over the baton to Lance Mellon. And he said, I've been surviving on 4 to 5 hours of sleep each night for 27 years. It's taken a toll on my health. But he's excited to have some new important projects he's working on. And he's grateful to every member of Daybreak and the Channel 2 team and to the loyal viewers who have made it worth it getting up at 3:45 every weekday morning. We love you, Dave. Congratulations on your retirement, and we miss you, and we welcome Lance. Thanks, everybody. Have a great weekend.